the drinks you have each day, a cup of coffee in the morning, a glass of juice with your breakfast, maybe a soda in the afternoon, or a little wine in the evening. They feel comforting, familiar, even part of your daily rhythm. But here is something most people never realize until it is too late. Many of these everyday beverages are quietly working against your health. What your body could tolerate when you were 40 or 50 now, after 60, can create a very different effect. The metabolism slows, your liver processes substances more slowly, and the resilience of your heart, bones, and brain becomes more fragile. That means a drink that once felt harmless can now accelerate diabetes, weaken your bones, raise your blood pressure, or even affect your memory. I remember one of my patients, Mr. Lewis, a 68-year-old man who couldn't understand why his diabetes was so hard to control. He didn't eat much candy, didn't add sugar to his coffee, but he drank 2 cans of soda every afternoon. When we replaced them with water and a slice of lemon, his blood sugar levels dropped in just a few weeks. He looked at me and said, "Doctor, I didn't realize those cans were sabotaging me every single day." Soda is one of the most dangerous daily choices for older adults. Just 1 can hold 10 teaspoons of sugar. Imagine scooping that into your morning tea. You would never do it. Yet when it's hidden in a can, we hardly notice. For seniors, this flood of sugar is especially damaging. As we age, our bodies often become more resistant to insulin. That means sugar lingers longer in the bloodstream, stressing the pancreas and pushing you closer to diabetes or worsening the condition if you already have it. And that's not the only danger. Colas in particular contain phosphoric acid, which strips calcium from your bones. Your bones are already thinner, less dense, and more fragile. Each sip of cola is a small push toward weaker bones and higher risk of fractures. A broken hip is not just a fracture, it can be a turning point that changes independence into dependency. And don't forget the calories. Even one soda a day over months and years fuels belly fat, the kind of fat that sits around your organs, raises blood pressure, and quietly damages your heart. Now you might say, "I stopped soda years ago. I drink juice because juice is healthy." That sounds logical. Fruit is good, so fruit juice must be good. But here is the hidden truth. When you squeeze fruit into juice, you strip away the fiber, and you're left with concentrated sugar. A small glass of orange juice can have as much sugar as 2 donuts, and without fiber to slow it down, that sugar rushes into your bloodstream. One of my patients, Mrs. Carter, 72, believed she was doing the right thing by drinking orange juice every morning. She thought it was better than tea or coffee, but she struggled with weight gain and knee pain. When we talked about the hidden sugar in juice and she switched to eating an orange instead, she lost almost 6 kilos in 4 months. She told me the biggest change wasn't the weight itself, but the way her knees stopped aching with every step. Sugary juices also damage teeth. With age, gums become more sensitive, enamel thinner. Bathing them in acidic juice every day is like pouring sugar water on already vulnerable teeth. The better solution is simple: eat the fruit itself. If you truly enjoy juice, dilute it with water, half juice, half water. You'll still enjoy the taste, but you cut the sugar in half and your body notices the difference. Perhaps you've never been a soda or juice person. Maybe you prefer something that feels stronger, something to give you energy. That's where many seniors turn to energy drinks, thinking they will get a quick boost for the day. But these are among the most dangerous choices you can make. Energy drinks are loaded with caffeine, sometimes twice as much as coffee, and often include stimulants like taurine or guarana. For a younger heart, this is already a heavy load. For an older heart, it can be overwhelming. Energy drinks push your heart rate higher, raise your blood pressure, and can create irregular rhythms. For someone already dealing with hypertension or on heart medication, that is like playing with fire. One of my patients, a 66-year-old grandfather, thought energy drinks would help him keep up with his grandchildren. Instead of energy, he ended up in the emergency room with heart palpitations. After that, he promised me he would never touch them again. Now he takes short walks with his grandchildren instead, and he says, "That gives me real energy, not the fake kind." Coffee is another drink many people cannot imagine their mornings without. For seniors, coffee is a double-edged sword. On one side, it can sharpen alertness. On the other side, too much can quietly take a toll. As we age, caffeine stays in the system longer. The same cup that once gave you a gentle lift can now make your heart race, disturb your sleep, and even thin your bones. Mr. Johnson, 74, loved his evening coffee. He insisted it helped him relax, but he always complained of being tired in the morning. After we tried just one simple change, no coffee after 2 in the afternoon, his sleep improved so much that he said, "Doctor, I feel like I've finally woken up after years of fog." Sleep naturally becomes lighter with age. Add afternoon coffee, and it can rob you of the little deep sleep you have left. Coffee also speeds up calcium loss through urine, pushing you closer to osteoporosis. And let's not forget digestion. Coffee's acidity can worsen reflux or stomach irritation. That doesn't mean you must give it up completely. Moderation is key. One small cup in the morning, balanced with calcium-rich foods, is often fine. Switching to half caffeinated or decaf versions or even chicory and barley substitutes preserves the ritual without the risks. Tea, often thought of as gentler, also has cautions. Black and green tea can disturb sleep, raise blood pressure, and because of tannins, reduce iron absorption. For seniors at risk of anemia, this matters. You may eat enough iron-rich foods, but your tea habit blocks your body from using them fully. Strong black tea also contains oxalates, which can contribute to kidney stones. Imagine trying to stay hydrated and doing your best for your kidneys, but actually increasing risk by drinking liters of strong tea each day. I sometimes meet patients who proudly tell me they drink 5 or 6 cups of tea daily, thinking it is always safe. One gentleman in his 70s ended up with recurring kidney stones. He was shocked when I explained that his excessive tea habit was part of the reason. Once he switched half of his cups to herbal tea, his problems eased dramatically. The solution is balance. Enjoy tea, but don't overdo it. Limit yourself to a few cups a day and try switching some of them to herbal options. Chamomile, rooibos, peppermint, these are naturally caffeine-free, soothing, and friendly to the stomach. They hydrate, calm, and support your body instead of pushing it. Many seniors find that replacing just 1 or 2 caffeinated cups with herbal tea improves their sleep and digestion almost immediately. And then there is alcohol. For many people, a glass of wine in the evening feels like a reward, a way to relax, even something they've been told is healthy for the heart. But what gets overlooked is how the body's tolerance for alcohol changes with age. The liver slows down, meaning alcohol stays in your bloodstream longer. That small glass of wine has a bigger impact than it once did. Combine that with medications, and the risks multiply quickly. Blood thinners, antidepressants, diabetes drugs, these and many others can interact dangerously with alcohol. What feels like a gentle sip can turn into dizziness, drowsiness, or a higher risk of falls. And a fall at 70 is not like a fall at 30. It can mean a broken hip, long recovery, and lost independence. Even small amounts of alcohol affect balance, coordination, and reaction time, all of which are already more delicate in older age. There is also the silent effect on the brain. Research shows that alcohol, even in moderate amounts, accelerates memory loss and raises the risk of dementia. Think of your brain as a precious library. Each drink chips away at the shelves, makes the books harder to find. The memory slips you blame on age might be made worse by that evening glass. For seniors who want to protect their minds, limiting or avoiding alcohol is one of the most powerful steps you can take. A retired teacher, Mrs. Evans, enjoyed a glass of wine every night. She believed it was good for the heart, yet she started noticing memory lapses. We decided she would cut back to wine only on weekends and replace her weekday glass with sparkling water and berries. Within a few months, she noticed fewer slips, and her children even said, "Mom, you seem sharper again. Does this mean you must never touch alcohol again?" Not necessarily, but it does mean being smart. Save it for special occasions and keep portions small. Explore alcohol-free wines or beers which now taste surprisingly good. Many seniors I work with have switched to sparkling water with a slice of lemon or berries. It still feels festive, but without the risks. The pleasure comes not from the alcohol itself, but from the ritual of sitting, sipping, and enjoying the moment. That ritual can be preserved in healthier ways. Another category of drinks that seem harmless but often are not includes flavored or enhanced waters. You've probably seen them in bright bottles promising vitamins, energy, or electrolytes. They look modern and healthy, but many are loaded with sugar, artificial sweeteners, or sodium. One of my patients, Mrs. Lopez, in her 70s, loved buying colorful flavored waters. She thought they were safe and even better than soda. But her blood pressure remained stubbornly high despite medication. When we looked closer, those drinks contained significant sodium. Once she replaced them with plain water flavored naturally with cucumber slices and lemon, her blood pressure numbers finally came down, and she told me she felt lighter and more energetic. The truth is, unless you are running marathons in hot weather, your body doesn't need extra electrolytes from a bottle. Seniors especially need to watch for excess sodium, which quietly raises blood pressure. Artificial sweeteners may disturb gut bacteria, leading to bloating or poor blood sugar control, and hidden sugars and flavored waters add unnecessary calories that sneak up on you. The safest option remains the simplest, plain water. If that feels too bland, you can easily make it more appealing with mint leaves, cucumber, or fresh fruit slices. Coffee shop favorites, frappes, whipped cream lattes, milkshakes also deserve attention. They look like small indulgences, but many of them carry more calories than a full meal. Imagine sipping something that feels light and refreshing, only to realize it equals a burger and fries and sugar and fat. For seniors who burn fewer calories each day, these drinks quickly lead to weight gain, and every added kilo is multiplied at your joints, stressing the knees and hips. There's also the issue of cholesterol. These creamy drinks often use whole milk, cream, and syrups packed with saturated fats. For older arteries that are already stiffer and narrower, it's like pouring grease into a pipe that is partly blocked. The flow slows, the pressure builds, and the risk of heart attack or stroke rises silently. But once again, the answer is not to give up joy, it's to choose healthier swaps. A smoothie made with low-fat yogurt and fresh berries feels indulgent but provides protein and vitamins. Almond milk blended with bananas creates a creamy texture without the heavy fats. These small substitutions turn a guilty pleasure into a nourishing habit, one that actually strengthens your body instead of weakening it. Another trend that has grown in recent years is the so-called detox or cleansing drink. The labels promise to flush toxins out of your body, to reset you, to make you feel new again. It sounds appealing, doesn't it? The idea that one special tea can undo years of strain. But here is the truth. Your liver and your kidneys are already incredible detox machines. They work every day, every hour, keeping your body balanced. They don't need miracle drinks to do their job. In fact, many of those so-called detox teas and herbal blends can actually do more harm than good. Some contain herbs like senna, which acts as a strong laxative. Yes, it may make you feel lighter for a moment, but what it really does is push your body to lose water and essential electrolytes. For seniors who are already more prone to dehydration and dizziness, this can be dangerous. I had a patient, a woman in her late 60s, who started drinking a detox tea she bought online. Within 2 weeks, she was weak, lightheaded, and nearly fainted in her kitchen. We discovered that the tea had drained her potassium levels dangerously low. She was shocked when I explained that her health drink was actually making her sick. Other detox products contain herbs like ginseng or St. John's wort. They sound natural and harmless, but they can interfere with common medications, from antidepressants to blood pressure pills. Natural does not always mean safe, and because many of these drinks are not well regulated, you never really know how much of the herb you're consuming. That uncertainty is not a risk worth taking, especially when your health is already delicate. The better choice is to stick with herbal drinks that have stood the test of time: chamomile to calm your nerves and help with sleep, peppermint to soothe digestion, ginger to ease nausea or bloating. These herbs don't promise miracles, but they work gently and reliably without draining your body or colliding with your medications. They support rather than stress your system. Now let's pull back and look at the bigger picture, because the truth is that drinks, more than most people realize, shape your daily health. Think about it. You might eat 3 meals a day, but how many times do you drink? Each sip is a chance to heal or a chance to harm, and most of us take those sips without thinking. So, how do you make smarter choices? First, read labels. Don't be fooled by pretty packaging or words like natural or vitamin water. Look for sugar content, sodium levels, and caffeine amounts. Second, make hydration your starting point. Many times, when you feel tired, irritable, or hungry, your body is simply thirsty. A glass of water often fixes the problem faster than any fancy drink. Third, set a personal rule for caffeine: nothing after noon. Protecting your sleep is one of the best gifts you can give your older body. Fourth, pair your drinks with food when you can. Having coffee or tea with a meal helps slow sugar absorption and reduces irritation to your stomach. And finally, talk with your doctor. If you are on medications, ask whether the drinks you consume could interfere with them. You may be surprised how often beverages and pills don't mix well. These may sound like small steps, but I promise you they add up. A 71-year-old patient of mine, Mr. Harris, once told me he thought he would never feel energetic again. He had given up on the idea of walking long distances because of his fatigue. When we looked closely, his problem was not lack of exercise, it was the energy drinks and sweetened teas he drank daily. Once he switched to water and mild herbal teas, his energy slowly returned. 6 months later, he proudly told me he was walking 2 miles every morning. Another woman in her 70s, Mrs. Brown, battled frequent stomach discomfort. She blamed aging, but her diet was filled with creamy coffee drinks and store-bought smoothies. When she changed them to homemade fruit smoothies with yogurt, not only did her stomach calm down, but she also lost weight and said she felt 10 years younger. These stories are reminders. Small changes in your cup can transform your daily life. When you think about your health, you probably picture your meals, your exercise, maybe even your medications, but what you drink every single day is just as important, sometimes even more. Beverages are sneaky. They don't feel like real food, so they slip into your day without much thought, yet they carry hidden sugars, caffeine, alcohol, or chemicals that over time can shape your future health more than you imagine. The good news is that you don't need to change everything overnight. Health is not about perfection, it's about steady, thoughtful choices. Each time you choose water instead of soda, you protect your pancreas. Each time you choose fruit instead of juice, you give your joints relief. Each time you skip an energy drink and take a short walk, you protect your heart rhythm. Each time you avoid coffee in the evening, you give your body the deep rest it desperately needs. And each time you set aside alcohol, you safeguard your balance, your memory, and your independence. I have seen again and again that it is never too late to change. One of my patients, a 78-year-old man, thought his constant fatigue was just age catching up with him. He accepted it as normal, but when he cut out sugary sodas and began drinking plain water, within weeks he said, "Doctor, I feel like I got 20 years back." Another woman in her 70s replaced her nightly wine with sparkling water and fruit. Her family noticed she was sharper in conversation, more lively, more herself. She told me, "I didn't realize how much that one small habit was clouding my mind." Think of your body like a garden. Each drink you choose is like adding water, sun, or weeds. Over time, the garden either thrives or withers, not because of one big event, but because of daily care. Your heart, your brain, your bones, they are the garden, and you are the gardener. The drinks you choose are tools in your hands. So here is my advice to you. Pause before every sip. Ask yourself, is this helping me or is this harming me? That small question gives you back control. It turns an automatic habit into a conscious choice. And those conscious choices build your future. Imagine yourself 1 year from now, walking with more ease, thinking more clearly, sleeping more soundly, all because you took care of what you put in your glass. Imagine your children or grandchildren looking at you with pride because you are still strong, still independent, still present. That is the reward of choosing wisely, sip by sip. You deserve to live with strength, clarity, and independence. And much of that doesn't begin with a pill or a complicated program. It begins with something as simple as what you drink. So choose wisely, protect your body, protect your mind, protect your future. Because the truth is simple. Every sip matters. And when you choose the right ones, you are giving yourself the gift of more years, more energy, and more joy in the life you already have.